It is 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna start the webinar. This is, um, sorry, it's our third webinar in the series of, Life Full of Possibilities. This is the Project Search webinar. I'd like to start off the webinar with a question. And Taylor Swift seems to be a topic of conversation nowadays. It was a topic in our staff meeting. So I just want to see. My question today is, who is your favorite musical artist today? And you can put that in the chat and start some conversation and have some fun. I do not know. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, but I do like Jason Aldean and Blake Shelton. So but if you do know any Taylor Swift songs that you like to say, you can say those as well. I'm gonna go with some Zoom guidelines as well. First and foremost, we do have live closed captioning today and live ASL or sign language. Thank you for those wonderful people. But because of that, we have to speak slowly, and that includes me as well. So also, this is a safe space. So this, please be respectful and I'll make sure that we can, that everybody is respectful. So the closed captioning is at the bottom of the window, the CC button, and so if you need that, uh, let's just get ready to have some fun. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sarah to give our introductions.
Thank you so much, Jason. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for the third part of our webinar series, Creating a Life Full of Possibilities. Like Jason said, my name is Sarah Roof. I'm the Director of Communications here at the Arizona Developmental Disabilities Planning Council. We are proud to be part of a wider Arizona Developmental Disabilities Network. We collaborate to highlight the need for broader acceptance and inclusion of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities across the state. So in case you didn't know, this webinar series was developed to help individuals with disabilities design and prepare for a life full of opportunities and possibilities. Here at the network, we believe every person deserves to fully participate in life rather than observe from the sidelines. That includes access to valued roles and being seen as a person rather than a disability label. So it's my pleasure this morning to introduce our two presenters. First up, we'll hear from Kelsey Montano. She is the Pre-Employment Transition Services Coordinator at the University of Arizona Sonoran Center for Excellence in Disabilities. Kelsey obtained a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Human Development, which has given her the foundation she needs to work with school-age students in transition and employment. Through her line of work and experience, she uses her drive and passion to practice new and innovative strategies to further the development towards a successful pre-ETS in various capacity. Of course, pre-ETS stands for Pre-Employment Transition Services. Next, we'll hear from Heather Dietrich. She is the Arizona Project Search Statewide Coordinator and Employment Liaison for the Sonoran Center at University of Arizona. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Special Education, mild and moderate K through 12. She has worked directly with individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities since 2017. Heather started working in transition services in 2020. She's also the parent of a child on the spectrum. She began work in special education to be a support and comfort to individuals with neurodiversity and their families, just as she needed when her son was diagnosed. This morning, please join me in welcoming Kelsey and Heather. We're grateful for their expertise, for their insights. We look forward to an engaging and informative discussion. And one more item, at the end of this webinar today, we will share a brief survey. We welcome you to fill it out, share your thoughts with us, and let's have a good webinar. We'll hear from Kelsey first. So Kelsey, take it away.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let's see if I can figure this part out to share the screen. Okay, did that work? Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk about pre-employment transition services. Again, my name is Kelsey Montano, and I work at the University of Arizona Sonoran Center. Pre-employment, let's see. There we go. Has an umbrella of services, and in partnership with the state's vocational rehabilitation, we work together to help youth obtain additional services that could help them after graduation and even before. So starting as young as 14 and through adulthood. So part of my role, which we'll get into detail with, is focusing on work-based learning experiences, which we bring into the school system. In addition to that, pre-employment transition services go over the following. So job exploration, counseling, counseling services on those post-secondary goals, workplace readiness training, instruction and self-advocacy, and then again, the work-based learning experiences. Our program, again, the work-based learning experiences allow transition age youth to be able to get off campus, experience jobs in the community that they might otherwise not have the ability to do so. And so we build transition models, either building off of existing programs or helping to develop new ones to get these students out and experience hands-on opportunities versus sitting in classrooms, doing worksheets and stuff like that. So it's a pretty unique opportunity, and really cool to see the students experience this side of what it takes to be in competitive integrative work. With that, we blend in and promote the employment first model with work-based learning. So the expectations and attitudes that come with employment, how do we get them there? Where are the students starting? What's their baseline? How do we expose them to different aspects of what it takes to be employable or have different skills under their belts? Really just starting where they're at and helping them grow. Practices and behaviors in general. So understanding that when we go out into the community, we are expected to follow not just the rules that we might have on campus, but the rules that the employment have for safety, guidelines in general, how to engage with the community, regular work expectations in general. That can be a shift coming from the classroom into the community itself. So that's a different lens, it's a different viewpoint for everyone involved. That's the teachers, the parents, the students, and even the community in general. There's some education in all parts and all parties. The systems and policies, and then individual outcomes. Most of the time we have students who don't think they can work, or they are told they cannot work. We have some families who haven't seen that side of their student before, and so getting them out in the community and showing that their child has done, A, B, C, D is a reward in itself, because at the end of the day, when we provide these weekly summaries that get sent home, they get to see that their student achieved these goals that they otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity to do so in this setting. So it's really rewarding, and it really shows the true growth and progress that students can hold no matter what ability they have. So with this program, when we come into new schools, we're looking to develop the partnerships in different districts. We're creating these sites either from scratch or with an existing program. So sometimes our schools have print shops, or they work with admin. They might do different rotations during the school days that their students get to leave the classroom for a little bit, maybe run some errands and then come back in their classroom. Our model kind of elevates what was existing there. So we might have, okay, we're doing admin jobs throughout the day. How can we promote further independence. Because at the end of the day, we're looking to see how we can help the student become as independent as possible. So we develop job aids, visual aids, written aids, checklists, really just whatever fits that person. Sometimes it's a cue card, a simple checklist, or cue card on the back of a lanyard. We've been pretty creative on how we kind of reach each student, and it's individualized in that sense. So, and then from there, we work with the job coach or para on site to gain these new tools for them, because they're sitting with these students in a classroom day to day, and sometimes they have the same students for, you know, up to 6-7 years. So it can be hard to shift your mindset from a teacher lens to a working lens. And for that reason, we come in and help offer different perspectives, different ways to reach the student, and just give different expectations as far as, you know, coming from the classroom into a work setting. So shifting that mindset for all. If the school already has an existing program, like I said, we go into Elevate, and then we can work towards the off-campus community experiences. We do run into challenges with transportation and school scheduling that gets identified towards the beginning of our planning. And then from there, we're able to schedule in with the school day and get these students off more or less 2 to 3 times a week, anywhere from 1 to 2 hours at a time. So again, depending on the school, what they have available to them, location-wise, transportation, and their staffing. We move at a comfortable pace that works for them as well. We understand that education changes almost daily, and what comes with that is, you know, we work with any kind of challenges that come every day. And from there, we either hold, or, you know, we use that as an opportunity for the students to use call-out procedures, you know, teaching different ways to get a hold of their employers and what that takes as well. So good learning opportunities along the way. Depending on the school location, we go out and our team networks local businesses that could use additional support. We have a bunch of Ace Hardwares, Walgreens, across the state that seem to be our best employer so far. A lot of repetitive tasks are very helpful that also give the opportunity to kind of scaffold tasks within. So that's been really helpful. Usually within a few miles, no more than 15-minute commute, just so that the students are able to get to and from classes in between their day, making sure lunch fits into their schedule, and so on. So in addition to this, we do offer summer work experience. Those experiences are paid, whereas the experiences during the school calendar year are unpaid internships. So that's a bonus on the student's end to be able to continue their services through the summer and earn a real paycheck at the end. So the work-based learning experiences, right now we have a combined total of about 15 schools. With that, throughout the calendar year, we're averaging somewhere around 95 students on a rotating schedule. So by that, I mean, for the first semester, we might network one site for the school or have one job for the student. And then at the second semester, we like to rotate, give them different experience, have them introduced to new skills. If there's room for like a promotion, so to speak, at the job site itself, we might keep them there just to continue on the skills that they've already developed. But the idea in general is to have transferable skills across the board. So theoretically, if we train and we use this model properly, then the student will have transferable skills that will help them in any setting. So communication, you know, engagement, those soft skills, you know, can we access A, B, C, D independently? If not, how are we going to get there? What are the steps that it takes for that student to complete the task independently or go seek support independently? And again, that varies from student to student. With that, we have about 3 schools right now in the planning stages. So that just means there's interest. We're learning what the school has currently and what is the direction that that school wants to go in. So again, those soft skills, transferable skills, we're working on the sustainability of this program. Eventually, our program and our staff fades from the paras that we're training and the students that we're working with so that they have a sustainable model that they can carry through. We're looking for the quality of the work with the student versus the quantity. So per site, we have about 2 to 3 students at a time going out in an AM shift and maybe additional 2 to 3 students for a PM site. With that regular communication, we're working with the students on how to communicate, whether that's email, call out procedures, the teachers, having them communicate with the employers eventually, giving that handoff to them, and then us regular communication, sending weekly summaries to the families, to the teachers, and any of that can be tied into the student's IEP, which is super helpful. And on our team, our team of vocational specialists, we have the opportunity to be pretty creative in how we reach the student, how we teach the para, that there is not necessarily one way to complete a task. So with that, we're able to create these job aids, the visual aids, written aids, a combination of the two. Maybe it's the cue card. It really, again, just depends on the individual, but we're working on how did the student complete the task and what did it take for them to get from start to finish. And I always emphasize the rapport. So building that trust, gaining trust with the student, gaining trust with the employer, and working on a sustainable relationship between all parties so that the ongoing participation can continue into the next year, to the next semester, and so forth. And because of that, we've had really good success across the board, maintaining our employers throughout the state. So some strategies, networking in general can be a challenge, finding the right employers who are willing to take the chance with our program. We've had a few employers who have shied away from the partnership in general, or at least to start, and then with persistence, we've made our mark and coming in, and now we have full reign of the store. So it really just takes the chance on us, on our program, to see that students have the ability to work. We can be successful. We can also alleviate stress from our day-to-day or from the day-to-day activities that those employers and staff initially would, need the additional support, and we're just coming in and giving that extra opportunity here. So it benefits the employer, the student, and the community, which is awesome. With the train the trainer model, eventually, again, working on that sustainability of the program or the school's program, getting them to be able to keep their program up and running so that the next wave of students have the same opportunity. Again, that patience and creativity. Not everyone completes a task the same way. We need to give room for a student to have the chance to respond, for the student to have the chance to feel and experience what this looks like in their time. And with our support and motivation and that rapport, these students can accomplish anything. The job aids and accommodations that we develop along the way will go with them at the end of their experience and will be outlined and identified in the weekly summaries, which is great. And yeah, just the overall maintaining connections has gotten us to where we are today. So it's pretty great to see, and the work shows in itself. So this past year, this past summer, our summer work program served around 159 students statewide. So six different counties. We worked in Pima County, Santa Cruz, Cochise, Maricopa, Pinal, and Apache. So pretty good expansion. And with that, we were able to maintain those 159 students. Some of those were able to extend into, it's 2 sessions, so a June session in July. Some of them were able to extend their hours, extend their shifts. I think we had around 9 students offered employment this last summer, which is a huge jump. and somewhere between 13 and 17 were noted that they were going to, or were working on filling out applications based off of their home and more relevant to their interests. So another huge jump, an increase in actually wanting to work versus, oh, this is something my parents signed me up for. So instead, we're hearing, actually, that was really fun. I do want to apply. I want to try this, but maybe not at this site. So really cool to see the reward and the excitement that these students have, which is awesome. And again, emphasizing that communication, the relationships across the board. At the end of the summer work experience, they do get a summer work overview, which talks about the tasks that they did, the site that they were working at, how many hours they completed, and some next steps that they can work on with their vocational rehabilitation counselor. And again, this is a paid experience, so we do pay them at the prevailing wage. We've had, you know, majority starting at minimum wage, and some fortunate enough to work around $25 an hour. So really depends where they end up. And overall, a really cool experience. These are just some examples over the summer. So we have the Heritage Center in Maricopa, and Ace Hardware in Cochise County in the Window Rock area. Elevate Trampoline Park, that was really fun. One of the students there actually brought his own headphones and played white noise so that he could focus better on the tasks that he could, you know, he was requested throughout the day, and he applied at the end of the summer. Alex Tire Shop in Santa Cruz County, this was a new partnership, and the students working there actually got to shadow mechanics. One of the students who was unfortunately only 16 was offered the job, but because of his age, he needs to be 17, so the offer stands, which is great. But that was our first time working with vehicles and automotive, so that was really neat. The Tucson Jewish Community Center, this student had a talking device, worked really well with you know, learning how to be social and using her social abilities to interact with the students. She was in a threes classroom. So supporting with setup, preparation, playing. Playing is one of the biggest things when you're working with youth, and that was great for her. And then that takes us to the Tractor Supply store in Cochise County. We had 3 students placed there that were returning students, and they did an amazing job. The student photoed here is was another student who wanted to apply as well. So really great things across the board, a great variety of jobs. We like to keep it, you know, relevant to the student's interests, but also based off of the skill set that they jump into. Where can we take that? Is this the right site? Students learn pretty quick that if it is within interest, those interests also come with responsibilities. So if we place a student at you know, a job site that works with animals, they soon realize that they have to care for the animals, and that could be messy, and students then learn that maybe that's not the right job. So it's, you know, it's a way for them to see firsthand what that looks like, how to experience, and what they want to do with that information at the end of the day. So, and that's my portion. All right, I hand it off to Heather.
Thank you very much, Kelsey. That was fantastic slideshow. And I love the pictures, being able to see what everybody is up to. Thank you so much. All right, I am going to share my screen and we will talk about Project Search next. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We are going to talk about Project Search, which is a 9-month internship program preparing young people with significant disabilities for success in competitive integrated employment. In just a second, my video will load, but I tend to be a visual person and I like to present that way. So first I'm going to start with a visual of what Project Search looks like, and then I'll dive into the details of that. But Project Search was developed in 1996 at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center by Aaron Riley and Susan Mikowski.
When you were in high school, what did you want to do in the future? Like, did you have goals of getting a job?
I honestly didn't even know.
Jabin was a handful. Behavior issues started coming out at 3 or 4. We ended up going to a neuropsychologist and they diagnosed him with autism. But with the diagnosis, you start thinking, what's this going to look like for him as an adult? All of a sudden, it's different. You have different goals. It was tough, and it still is because his path is different. I just saw the potential for what Project Search could be for so many young adults.
Project Search is an internship program for young adults with disabilities. The goal of Project Search is employment, ultimately. At the end, they want to get not just a job, but a career. In the training center, the interns focus on employability skills, so they'll cover financial literacy, they'll cover soft skills such as showing up on time, being accountable in their work, working as a team, things that any employer would want.
I learned how to work in a professional environment as well as communicating with other people. That was one of the things I always struggled with.
We offer multiple different internships within the hospital and get job experiences that they can carry to the rest of their life.
What is your favorite job you've done?
Right where I'm sitting right now.
Jabin's been just a fit-in from day one. He's good at running the lawnmowers and the trimmers. He's been a very big help. He grew so much with the time we've had him. It's just phenomenal because he's just a self-starter. He jumps right in and he's very knowledgeable in the grounds field. It's been a great experience all the way through.
Jabin wowed me probably every day. Management someday. He has what it takes. Maybe not tomorrow, but that's where he's headed, given the opportunity.
Until Project Search, we never thought Jabin would do a lot of things. And now he's able to do many things most adults do. It's that simple.
I just see him walking with his head up and he has pride. And that's what you want for your children, is for them to be okay within their own skin. He's okay in his own skin. And that's what I wanted him to be, is the man he could be. And he's there, thanks to Project Search.
I'm very proud of who I've become.
So Project Search is typically we have a high school model. We have an adult model and a high school model. In the high school model, we have ages 18 to 22 is the age requirement, and that the students agree that they're in their last year of eligibility of high school services. It follows the high school calendar, so it would be the same start date, the same end date, and all of the same vacations that would normally happen in that school district. It is a 9-month unpaid internship for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and it takes place entirely in the workplace, so it's total workplace immersion. Within that calendar year, or sorry, within the school year, the intern will complete 3 separate rotations, which means they'll be placed in 3 different departments, learning 3 different sets of skills to be able to put onto their resume. And each of those rotations are approximately 10 weeks. By the end of the year, they will have a robust resume. They will also receive on graduation day, they will receive a Project Search certificate as well as their high school diploma. And a successful outcome is considered at least 16 hours per week at the prevailing wage in non-seasonal work in competitive integrated employment. And the goal for Project Search in the host businesses is that 70 to 100% of graduated interns enter competitive integrated employment. The Project Search on-site staff takes place with a lot of people. You have the instructor who provides the classroom instruction, the curriculum, which is all employment-based. Will also help with job coaching and coordinates with the other partners. You have a skills trainer who provides job coaching, task analysis, progress reports that go to our partners at Vocational Rehabilitation Services. There's also a business liaison who hosts, this is a staff member of the host business, and this person helps develop departments and relationships in the host business. So the interns have places to go for their rotations and skills to learn. And then there is also the managers and mentors who are also staff members of the host business who work alongside the interns to provide mentoring, help teach those skills, but to include the intern in everything that the staff does. So the intern is treated like a staff member would be. In this video, you'll see an example of a manager or mentor who is working along with one of the interns on inventory.
You can always gauge it by moving products around and how many would fit in that space.
I apologize. It looks like the video is having some troubles.
Four, sure. Okay, so now we make our way over. You see any more empty spaces? Remember, this stuff we have downstairs. Remember all the yellow buttons we have downstairs. We don't have to worry much about those. But this looks pretty good.
Okay. Let me move on. Okay. So what I love about the program is that it has benefits for everyone. So coaching an intern can lead to systems change that benefit all of the staff and the host business to make processes more efficient. So for example, we had an intern working in clinical support services surgery, which is like a very large inventory of over 85,000 surgical supplies. And it is the intern's job to help do inventory and put together surgical cases by finding the equipment and placing it into the case for the operation it needs to go to. And at the beginning of this internship, this was a new department. At the beginning of the internship, you can see in this picture all of those yellow tags. Every single surgical item, all 85,000 had the same exact looking tag with very, very long inventory part numbers. And so it was a slow process to find just the exact surgical equipment that was needed. And by hosting an intern, the mentor and the skills trainer were working together and realized, wouldn't it be better if the supplies were color-coded by specialty? So for example, cardiology's tags would all be red. Urology's tags would all be yellow, gynecology tags would all be pink. And so we came up with a color-coded system so that the items for that specialty would be color-coded, making it a much faster process for not only the interns we found out, but it also made it a faster process for the nurses and the doctors and everyone to be able to find the supplies that they needed, because time is of the essence when you're working in surgery. So it led to systems change that benefited the entire business. A project search site looks for multiple pathways. Usually it's paired with a very large site that offers many career paths. So for example, there could be interns placed in a kitchen area. There could be interns who are transporting patients, moving furniture, working in pharmacy, all within the same host business, as just a couple of examples. In addition to learning the hard skills that are specific to a department, such as moving furniture is an example of a hard skill, the on-site staff also teaches a curriculum and really works on those what we call soft skills or transferable skills. These are skills that will follow the intern to any job that they have in any industry, no matter what it is. And so some examples of that would be team building and technology, financial literacy, self-advocacy, workplace safety, health and wellness, and then preparing and maintaining for employment. And within that would be mock interviews, building a resume, things like that. A typical schedule for an intern would be all interns. Let's assume that there's 8 interns at a particular site, just for purposes of describing this. They would all meet at the same, what we call a training room, because we change all of the language to match employment, workplace rather than school. So they would come on site to the host business where there would be a training room provided where the instructor will teach curriculum, and they will do that for approximately an hour a day. And then around 9 a.m., the interns would split up. They would each go to their separate departments to work alongside their department staff for the majority of the day. They will then all come back to the same training room at 2 o'clock until 2:30 for a debrief on what happened during the day. There are currently 8 project search sites in Arizona that are scattered throughout the state. So we have in Mesa, Gilbert, Tucson, and Glendale, and then Phoenix. If you would like more information about Project Search, you can visit our website. And I think that is all that I have on this slide. One very important factor that I apologize, I seem to have accidentally missed one of the slides, but that would be the braided partners. And so a project search site is a partnership of our host business, the school district and personnel for the school district, and also vocational rehabilitation services. Each of the interns would be assigned to a vocational rehabilitation counselor who works with them not only during the school year, but will continue to work with an intern after graduation to help with placement into a job, and then help coordinate with long-term or follow-along services that will stay with that graduate who will then be an employee for job coaching services after that. So there's a lot of long-term support that goes along with that. So it doesn't end at graduation. Let me stop sharing there. Thank you.
Heather and Kelsey, thank you so much. We have some questions in the chat that I'm hoping one of you, both of you can answer. You may have touched on this right now, Heather, but our first question is from Jania. She asked about the partnered schools that were mentioned earlier. Can you explain what partner schools mean again in the context of these programs?
Thank you for asking. And so a school would partner with us in, I can speak to the project search part of it, and I'll let Kelsey talk about the pre-ETs and the summer work. So in the project search, partnered school would provide the instructor, and then would also provide the students who would then become interns. And so one particular site would typically only have one school district associated with it. And so when we are recruiting and selecting students, they would come from that specific school district.
And the pre-ed side of that, we work with vocational rehabilitation to identify schools that are outside of a TSW contract, which is transition to work. We've worked with private schools, charter schools, public schools too, that aren't with the TSW program. It's really just about the outreach, seeing the need in the area, identifying schools that could benefit from a lot of the conferences that we hold, nationally, is a good opportunity for us to just kind of hear what's happening in systems and districts in general across the way, and bring them back to our state to be able to say, hey, well, let's try this. Or, I see that your school is a charter school and you have the opportunity to play with these pieces. Is this something you're interested in? And kind of just brainstorming different ideas on how we can reach different students. And it comes with that networking piece as well.
How does that first step of the outreach look like? Are you cold calling districts? Are you asking for a particular person when you are contacting them for the very first time? What kind of job titles are you looking for? What does that look like?
So yeah, sometimes it is. It can be cold calls. It can be, us doing our research and saying, oh, well, I've passed this school, or I've heard about this school. I wonder what they have. And then we go in and kind of dig up what, based off of the website or based off of knowing someone. But kind of similar to how we network sites in the community, it's all about who you know. So we might have somebody in our own little network that has a son that goes to this school, or a family member that goes to this school. What are they doing at their school? And kind of just, again, brainstorming, comparing, just seeing. And then that outreach comes from, what do you have in place? Would you like to have a little more support? And then you just kind of waterfalls from there.
Sarah,
Okay, that's really helpful.
Yeah, Sarah, thank you for asking that, because I was thinking about that as well, as how scary it is to approach a school, because a lot of times they are very, oh gosh, I think it has a lot to do with liability, and they are not sure why you are contacting them and what you want and what this is all about. And the answer is always, oh no, we are not interested.
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that?
I'm based out of Tucson. So even here in Tucson, we have one of our districts, 3 different schools in there. And we were fortunate to reach all 3 schools, but in each school, they operate very differently. So one school struggles with transportation. So we had to develop a site next door for them. And then the process of getting transportation for the other 2 schools was much easier. One of them can just go out, reserve a van, and they're fine. Their school, a few miles down, there's a little more to their process, but they're also able to secure transportation. There's also the buy-in from their leadership team. So based off of who's in charge and who has seen these projects in other schools, might be a little more hesitant because maybe they tried something different in the past and maybe it didn't work. So the buy-in for that and having that in that same district, we can go in and say, well, we did it here. These are the things that were successful. These are the areas that we had challenges in. How do we overcome those together? And then we identify the individuals who we can then meet with to overcome those challenges together. But it does take time. We've had schools that we go in ready, and then over the summer, system change, a new principal comes in, there's staffing, and so we pause, we troubleshoot, and we take baby steps, which is, I think, the beauty of our program specifically, is because we're not on a specific timeline. We're trying to hit maybe a general range of that first year to be able to really build up the program. But we can still come back in and help set up or reintroduce or help reestablish different areas, different schools. So some creativity with that as well.
Great,
Oh, that's
thank you for
great.
that.
So we have some other questions that we're going to move on to. For that work-based learning experience, the WBLE, where are the 15 schools located that participate? I know 6 counties were mentioned. Is there any other, info you can share about where they're located?
Yeah, so Pima County has around 7 schools, I would say. 2 of the schools we have already faded from. So that means where our direct service portion has, concluded, at least for now. We have about 6 in the Phoenix area, 1 in Maricopa, 1 in Window Rock, so Apache County, and then 1 in Douglas.
Thank you. Okay, good. So there are some rural areas. We're going to come back to that later, but we do have a follow-up question from someone in the chat asking about that first step again, talking to the school, particularly about Sahuarita District there in Southern Arizona. She's asking, I know there's an application to fill out, right? Do you know about applications that are required by districts for this?
Sorry, I'm trying to locate that question so I can understand it a little bit better. Oh, okay. So right now we actually work, that's another one. We do work with Sahuarita High School right now. I know there's 2 schools in that district. The application, there's not necessarily an application. So there's a pre-ETS form that you fill out so that the services between us and vocational rehabilitation can be established. And that way, the end goal, if we can get students to continue services, then vocational rehabilitation has them in their system. We can work with the student or the school to fill out the actual application that does take a little bit more time to get these students enrolled and become a client so that they do receive the VR services after they're done working with us. But it could also be, the student is a VR client during the time that we're working with them, and there are those additional pre-ETS services that can be worked on with the student. It really, again, it depends on that student, what their goals are, what direction they want to take it in, their abilities and stuff like that. So through that collaboration that we can have with vocational rehabilitation, there can be the ongoing supports. Those updates really help the counselors see that this student has been successful in these areas, and that can lead to other opportunities and options, as they reach graduation and then their post-secondary goals.
Great. Thank you so much, Kelsey. Okay, we have another question. What is available to individuals who have aged out of the school system?
Yeah. At least on our end. So for my program specifically, we're focusing on those pre-employment transition skills. So we're working with youth 14 to 22 in that second year. Usually those senior high schools. And for us, they need to be a student. During the school year, because we're partnered with schools, they are in high school. Our summer work, though, they can still be in that 22nd year, but they can also be enrolled in, community college, university, as long as they're an enrolled student. After that, my program specifically doesn't work with youth after that point.
Thank you so much. Heather, anything to add?
On the project search side, there are currently 2 sites that run the adult model. They are run through the school district would be WestMech, is a career and technical education partner in the West Valley in the Phoenix area. And those 2 sites are Luke Air Force Base and the Renaissance Hotel.
Fantastic. That's great to know. If someone wants to find out more about that particular one, how would they sign up?
They would be able to get a lot of great information through the WestMech website.
Okay, great. We will put that in the chat here in a moment. Let's go to the next question. Were all the students who expressed interest in the summer work program able to obtain employment?
So not all students will gain employment, but they are gaining the skills that are needed to seek employment opportunities after. So again, that age range gives us a good time frame to work on those skills that will then get them to the point to be employable for competitive integrated employment in general. So but like I said, 9 students were offered employment this last summer, which is huge. And then with that other handful of students who have an increased interest in applying is also huge, because we don't always hear that and we don't always see it. So to have some of our staff be involved in that process is really neat to see. And have the support from the family and their counselors in general. So it all comes full circle there. But yeah, the emphasis and the focus being their skills. Some of them come in not sure that they're able to work or have the ability to work. So also setting up these, reasonable goals for them to meet helps them identify some next steps as they either continue through their school program or come back again to participate the following school year as long as they qualify. So it's just a building block for future success.
Great, thank you so much, Kelsey. I'm going to hop around a little bit because some of these questions are similar. Kelly is asking, are there any plans to bring Project Search out to the rural areas? I know there's a couple sites. And on that note, how do you pick sites for Project Search?
Thank you for asking. And the short answer is yes, there are plans for growing Project Search into the rural areas. There are conversations happening about that right now. And then as far as choosing a location for Project Search, that's a complicated question, but it really starts, we have to have an interested education partner. And once we have the interested education partner, then we look for that host business within the area that is a convenient location for that district.
Awesome. Okay. Any info about the number of interns for each Project Search site? Or do you keep them the same? Is it like 5, 5, 5? Does it really depend on the type of work offered at each site? Do they keep those intern numbers the same?
So every site can be unique. I can tell you that we have found in Arizona, what we call the sweet spot seems to be about 12 interns because it seems to be what can be sustainable. But every
really
site is unique and specific, so it does not have to be 12.
Fantastic. Do you have any info about the percentage of interns who are, getting employment through you all after the internship? So let me rephrase that. To be a bit more clear, after they complete the internship, how many folks are obtaining employment, more or less?
Thank you for asking. And so every year that's going to be just a little bit different. So that is a number that would constantly be in flux. But what I can tell you is that the goal is for at least 70%. And I can also announce that this year, Project Search in Arizona, there were 2 sites that received the 100% Employment Outcome Award.
Congratulations. That's amazing. Wow. How do you feel about that? Like you worked hard to get to that point?
Every person has worked hard to get to that point. All of the partners and everyone involved, and especially the interns, were so proud of them. And it's very exciting to see that. Thank you.
That's awesome, Heather. Well, thank you so much for what you shared today, and you as well, Kelsey. We want to remind people about the survey that Jason has shared in the chat to give your feedback. You can give us your thoughts about your experience today and share future webinar topic ideas. And speaking of, listen, we have the next part of our series coming up on September 11. It's all about using technology to help get employment. And we are going to share that registration link so you can kill two birds with one stone. And I will do that right now. We are so grateful to our presenters today. We have a couple more coming up. Oh, we actually have one more question. I don't want to skip any that I was just sent. So this is for Kelsey. Are school districts with which you are working refer students with more intense support needs for pre-eds? So
Yeah,
are school districts with which you are working referring students with more intense support needs for pre-eds?
Yeah, so I actually love that question. So we work with students who have a 504 IEP or equivalent. We don't shy away from any student. We understand that there could be some safety concerns and that liability does come up, but we work with the team to establish a plan in place for those individuals who might seek higher supports or require higher supports. We do our best to do one-to-one in that case and really set the student up for success. But I mean, we've worked with students of all abilities, nonverbal, limited verbal, and really getting creative on how we can support them out in the work field. And we've been really successful, and it's been awesome to see the outcome that these students can produce at the end of the day.
How do people get in touch with you all if they have additional questions?
I will leave my information in the chat.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Special thanks to all of our team at the Arizona Developmental Disability Network. That includes the ADDPC, where I work, Disability Rights Arizona, the Institute for Human Development at Northern Arizona University, and of course, the Sonoran Center for Excellence in Disabilities at the University of Arizona, where Heather and Kelsey work. It's been a pleasure to hear from you all today, and we're just really grateful. We're also grateful to our partners who support all of this effort to increase employment skills and transition services across the state. That includes the Arizona Association of People Supporting Employment First chapter. Say that 5 times fast. Employment First, and of course, Arizona Vocational Rehabilitation. That concludes our presentation today. We will leave the Zoom open for a little while. We will stop the recording just so you can browse through the links. We did post the survey. We posted the West MEC application link. They have a really cool adult program over there. And of course, contact info for our presenters. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you on September 11 for our next webinar series, all about utilizing technology for employment. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Thank you.